presented by Vyas Media Network.
Today, I think, was one of the best podcasts ever. Not because I had a great questions or anything, but because the person I had was just amazing. Today we had Rajesh Lama, also known as Lama Dai. He recently came back from Everest, and he actually walked all the way from Kathmandu. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I feel like he's the kind of person that can do anything if he puts his mind to it. We had a lovely conversation about the experience in Everest, the type of respect that Sherpa deserve but don't get, and a bunch of other things in between. I hope you enjoy the episode. Dai, can we start off by pulling up Lama Dai's Instagram? Is it okay if we roll from here? Oh, good.
Man, whatever is good for you, bro.
Yeah. I just want to bring up that photo of you at the top, right? With that North Face flag just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like your home, right? While we're pulling it up, it's probably really hard to put it into words, but how would you describe that feeling?
त्यो time, त्यो moment चाहिँ कस्तो थियो भने, like whenever you think about it, because it's Everest, I know it's like world's highest peak. And पछि
त्यो photo there we go.
अर्को चाहिँ
Second one, next one.
अर्को चाहिँ हो. There's another one.
तल
हुन्छ अझै तल अझै अर्को फाइलमा छ के अर्को इन्स्टाग्राममा जानुपर्छ होला.
थियो
Lama,
oh, there you go.
There you go. अझ तल यहाँ चाहिँ आउँछ त्यो चाहिँ अझ तल. Man, it's been a while I've climbed Everest now. Damn. अच्छा कहाँ त्यो फोटो?
Right there.
Anyway, त्यो हुनुपर्ने हो.
It's okay. Anyway.
It's okay.
Do you feeling if you had to put it into words?
So, it's definitely a moment to celebrate for my entire life now. No one can take that, you know. But being very honest with you, so this is my fourth mountain that I've climbed, and trust me, I haven't been able to enjoy the summit as people do, as I see on Instagram. Like for me, it's like, okay,
there we go.
Hey,
there
yes,
we go.
There we go. That's me, man. Yeah.
The Akame is like, oh shit, gotta go back down.
Oh man, trust me. मेरो त ड्रोन गएको ड्रोन यहाँबाट सुई भयो होइन ल त्यो बाटो सब झर्नुपर्छ हे भगवान् अनि once that starts hunting you त्यो enjoy the nice to meet you
stolen
मजाले stolen. That's a good way to put it out.
Did you have that expectation of, oh, when I get up there I won't enjoy it, or like it was a big shock?
मैले सोचेकै थिएन that I wouldn't enjoy भनेर. And I was like, तर by the time when I reached summit, I was pretty tired as well, because that was almost like 12 hours walk. त्यति माथि हाई एलिभेसनमा 12 घण्टा हिँड्दै म त एकछिन त भइसकेको थियो. मनमनै चाहिँ यस भइरहेछ बाहिर चाहिँ
for the photo, for the gram.
त्यो चाहिँ पछि गर्नु पर्यो. तर by the time I reached there, I was very tired. अनि त्यहाँ माथि बसेको एकछिन बसेँ, फोटो खिच्यो. त्यसको केही समय I was like, oh no, I gotta walk back. This journey is not finished yet.
We're only halfway there.
It's just halfway there.
Damn. I mean, what do you think was the hardest part getting there? Because, of course, right now you're probably feeling more rewarded than you did up there, right?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because up there you're still thinking about going down. And like you said, right, I think Sushant Daiko podcast, man, you said a lot of things, and I will make a lot of references to that, so don't mind.
Please do.
Shout out to Sushant Dai. But one thing he said was coming down was almost harder. It's harder because like coming down for me is harder. Yeah? If you walk upstairs and you walk downstairs, more like walking down, it's harder for me, right?
Same here.
But I also think another aspect of it is the mental game, right? And you talked a lot about that, right? And I think it's also harder because every story, but you're like, okay, I did it. I climbed Everest and like that. Sometimes that happens, right? How did you stay focused and not celebrate too early?
Because my first thing was I don't want to die. Second thing was I don't want to die. Third thing was I don't want to die. So
the list goes on.
like not wanting to die kind of helped me a lot, and I had to pay attention. Ekdamai. Yeah, त्यही हो मेरो लागि चाहिँ.
There are a lot of strict rules when you climb Everest, and strict rules, but not more like protocols and safety precautions, right? Do you ever like feel like, oh, I'm so sick of this? Like this is too much, like because
त्यस्तो कहिले पनि भएन र हुन पनि हुँदैन किनभने if once you start feeling that, that might not be a good start for you from that part. Kinnabhane everything that we do up there, from like small knot to placing our carabiners into safety line, putting on our harness, wearing our boots, everything is just the primary concern of everything of all those things is safety. And again, like I said, and I've been advocating, if you तपाईले safety को केसमा चाहिँ एकबाट साढे पनि अथवा सवा एक पनि थोरै गर्नुभयो भने death is right there, and I'm sure you don't want to be there forever.
No.
त्यही भएर yeah, never have had those moments where I was like, this is too much.
Because death was always at the top 3 of the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
like it should be though. I think that's the #1 priority.
Because I think this whole thing journey. Whenever we talk about these things, this completes for me, especially as a traveler, as an adventurer. When I come back home safely to my family and my friends, this is where it finishes.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything that would disrupt that flow, then it's not finished.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get ahead and they're like, hey, summit, what is it? Like, it's done. But it's like, you got the other half of the journey, buddy. Like, right? Like, but can I just be clear? I'm in no place to talk. Like, summiting Everest is a dream, right? And after listening to you, I feel like, yeah, like Lama Dai pani garyo, like he walked all the way from Kathmandu. Surely I can do it as well. I think for me, for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But I think people don't realize all the hard work you put in, all the hard work you put in before, and all the hard work you put in during, right? And could you just give us all a reality check of what it's actually like? Not discouraging anybody, because everybody should have that dream, right?
Yeah.
But everybody should also know the reality and not be like, hey, like, they like, that bazari like, right? Like, we gotta have that reality in place, right? So what was the actual reality?
So these are the bazari no, but again, कुनै मान्छेको आफ्नो त्यो क्षमता हुन्छ उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ होला हैन किनभने if you do it like a lot of times, I think at some point your muscle just starts to remember those things. तर मेरो केसमा चाहिँ मेरो कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ like since this was my first time climbing Everest and also walking from Kathmandu itself with again 2 big passes in between, Renjo Pass, Chola Pass भएर गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it definitely was not a bed of roses for me. त्यो थिएन मलाई, definitely गाह्रो थियो. अनि अझ एकदमै केलाएर भन्नुपर्दा मानव तपाईको सुरुमा आइडिया त आयो हैन, दिमागमा आइडिया त आयो, तर अब यसलाई एक्जिक्युट कसरी गर्ने? Otherwise, if I don't execute, it's just going to be a dream for me. It's going to be there in my head, right? And again, to execute गर्नलाई तपाईको मेरो contribution के छ त? How do I plan this? So first मा तपाईको तपाईले भन्नु वास्ते first my sponsorship कुरा आउँछ, because it's a huge amount. I was like, okay, my kidney is gone, but I love my kidney, and I need it to climb.
I need clean blood.
So yeah, first thing was sponsorship, which I was lucky with, and yeah, thanks to North Face and Best Quality Food Product and other associated, friends and let's say organizations who were there. And second matter again, fitness. Because you just cannot be at your lounge at your house eating chips and watching Netflix and thinking about, okay, I'm going to climb Everest and and just finishing up with the chips. No, you have to work out a little bit because it's Everest, it's the world's highest mountain. And again, like mental well-being, that's also another thing that you should know that you are ready for this.
You need to be physically fit and
mentally fit as well.
And those are things money can't buy. Money can't buy you a trip to Everest, right? That's basically it. No, like money is important, finance all.
Yes.
But people outside to understand that paisa bhara, like people are not going to carry me to the top of Everest.
No, and again, thank you for bringing it up. That's another misconception that we have here. Say, like, no. First thing, they don't have to. And second thing, they won't.
Simple as.
So yeah.
Why? What do you think motivates the Sherpas?
Sorry.
Is it all like a money kind of thing, or what do you think motivates them to keep putting their life on the line to go to the top of Everest every season?
Very good question, Manab. Hamro 1953 बाट यो चढ्ने craze was a body. I mean, there was a craze of Mount Everest always, because the first attempt was in 1924, if I'm not wrong, which was unsuccessful. And but yeah, since then, I think in context of Nepali mountaineering industry, the money factor has a very big influence in terms of why people are going there, putting their life on line every season. I think, yeah, that has a very big influence.
But do you think that's the only influence, or are there some motives?
Well, I wouldn't say money is only the influence, because that will kill the passion and creativity and how wonderful this mountaineering is. And I hope that's not true. But yeah, it definitely has a very big influence context. In today's context, yes, it has a very big influence.
Sherpas are, I think, misunderstood all over the world, and widely misunderstood. And I think that is because people in Nepal sometimes don't even know Sherpa to kill. Like, forget the world, forget, right? Like, we got to know our stuff here first, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I'm not saying, मलाई थाहा थियो, म त लामा दाइसँग त्यो कुरा गरेँ, सबै थाहा छ भन्ने, and like, through you, I'm learning so much, through that talk you gave that Saturday, right?
Thanks,
and
man.
through the podcast with Trishata, like, I'm learning a lot, right? And I'm so grateful for you for like shedding light on this, right? What do you think needs to change in Nepal to better, so people are more aware of what Sherpas actually are? And then how will that have an effect on the global perception?
So, I think हाम्रो एउटा उखानै छ मानव नेपालीमा, बोल्नेको चाहिँ पिठो पनि बिग्छ अरे, नबोल्नेको चामल पनि बिग्दैन अरे, हैन? त्यो भनेको if you know how to sell yourself, you can actually pretty much sell anything. There's always market of almost everything out there in the world. But if you don't know how to sell a thing, then even though it might be the most valuable thing in the entire life, that might save the whole world, but people might not end up buying it. So, हाम्रो केसमा चाहिँ यही भइरहेको जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई. अनि जब कि when our mountain community, our people are so capable of all these things. So again, अति कुरा चाहिँ तपाईको opportunity ले पनि मात खान्छ, हैन? अनि तपाईको किनभने for now I think like a lot of people working in mountaineering from Sherpa culture and from like Sherpa community, they are more focused on their livelihood. They go to mountain, they go back to the family, and again back to their own business, farming, this and that kind of traps them a lot of time.
And it's almost like a loop. You're stuck in that cycle.
Yeah, loop. But again, now, like, if possible, people like you, media houses, like they should bring those people. Forget me. I was just a client. But they should bring those kind of people out in these kind of shows and share their stories, And
I think like provide them a platform to share what they're
yes. अब कति मान्छेले तपाईको सुरुमा त उहाँहरुलाई पनि नआउला किनभने this might not be the daily thing for them, But again, I think there should be the programs where they will be encouraged to join and speak out for themselves. And like you mentioned, whenever people hear the word Sherpa, त्यहाँसम्म नभएको कति मान्छेले त नेपाल कहाँ छ इन्डियामा हो भनेर सोच्छ.
Forget
Sherpa.
What about us? Like,
India part of it, which is not true. So त्यही भएर like I mentioned, whenever people hear this word Sherpa, they think about the person who carries the load. But no, man, they are the real heroes. Like I said, climbers are hero, and Sherpas are heroes of hero. And I learned this by watching it. Dr. Nima was always correct. Dr. Nima, my teacher, my mentor, like he's also Sherpa, but he knew what his community people were capable of.
I just wanted to share that funny anecdote I told you about off camera, right? But I was watching the Big Bang Theory show, right? And it's tough because it would never stand out to me, right? And basically, there are these two guys. They just had a kid, right? And then their friends really want to get involved. Okay, so they go to this dinner, and their friends are carrying all the stuff. Okay, and then another friend makes a joke, be like, "Oh, look, it's a new parents." And then the book they come into the scene, and it's like, and they're Sherpas, right? It's like, it's not even their fault. Like, they don't know, but like, that's not what Sherpas are, man. Those are porters, like the porters and Sherpas are very different things, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain how important a Sherpa is? Like, how much did it help you on your journey?
Oh, a lot. I cannot imagine my climb without my guide, Ashara Galjan from Kumjung. Of course, he had his own style of leading me and going out and all those things. And I wouldn't necessarily say it kind of matches with everyone, but he has his own style of doing it. But yeah, a climb without a guide, a climb without a Sherpa, I think that's a biggest mistake that people do. And we have a very good example this season that we lost 2 Mongolian climbers, and they chose not to have guides with them.
That's not a coincidence.
No. And I was kind of like why? Just why? That's it's like, when you go to school, it's like learning alphabets. It's that important, because we're talking right now all these things in English and blah blah blah. That if had we not known the alphabets of ABC, like how would we talk English, right? So taking Sherpa, having a guide is like the basic fundamental.
And I think sometimes when people do the training and the preparation that is required, fundamentals go out the window and they think there's some so even I'm not saying like everybody does it, and I'm not saying that I don't do it either. You do a little bit of preparation and then the world owes it to you, right? And I'm not dissing on anyone. If anything, I'm dissing on myself because I am guilty of this, right? And I think you have helped me realize that, don't get ahead of yourself, right? Like when it comes to climbing down, right? Like don't get ahead of yourself. When it comes to taking a share, but don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think you're some big shot thing, right? I think it's really important. If we were to break it down fully, right? A Sherpa is there for you mentally, physically, anything, right? And Sherpas are important for climbing ropes, putting carabiners on, everything, right?
The whole scene.
In terms of mentally, like talking to your Sherpa, talking to your guide, right? How did that relationship play out?
Very important. Not necessarily that we always had the talks that would please each other. We had some kind of discussion as well once in a while. But I think again that's important. Talking good and talking nice only does not give you a real picture. So yeah, even mentally for me to make decisions, to make even actually, if I have to be very very specific about it, even taking a step. To make that decision to move forward or not. So those kind of things actually helped me when I was talking with the guide.
Yeah, I mean, the same previous interviews and stuff, they're like, the content, and then for you on that surface, you might think it's just a step, right? But it's that not. Step could just cave in and boom.
Yeah, easily. And that's why we need to have all those experienced people. And that's what we're investing on. Overall, we want to be safe and we want to come back home, or else, and if we don't do that, the basic fundamentally, out of window by window, what's the point of doing all these things?
In terms of giving more recognition to Sherpas, right? I think globally, one thing that it really helped is Nimsdai and his documentary and his whole thing, right? Do you think that has had a major impact on how Sherpas are perceived throughout the world, and if so, how?
So I think Nimsdai Umar, when there were a lot of his teammates that were Sherpa, and it's for sure, and even Dai knows very clearly that without having those people in his group, it was not possible for him. Even his next person that was standing with him all the time, Mingma David, he's a Sherpa. Equally capable, equally amazing climber. You know? So, yeah, I mean, his documentary, I think, has a very big impact in terms of tourism industry in Nepal. For me, at least, I take it very positively because the amount of recognition our country got, the amount of recognition our industry got, it's like enormous. It's like it just went up in another scale, and like and the Sherpas and us being associated with this, yes, that definitely also helped people to understand things better.
Yeah, and I think that's always a step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
And I think you making this journey and you making it so public was also definitely a step in the right direction. And the stuff you are preaching through the attention you got, it's even better, right?
Thanks, buddy.
It's did you ever plan to make it public and make this big thing, or were you just like, oh, this is my thing, this is my personal thing, I'm just doing it?
So I mean, it definitely started with that feeling, that I had, very personal. And even when I started, I didn't want to make it public about my GoFundMe thing, because the amount that I needed was big, and I thought I could fund myself, but again, that was impossible. And again, that personal thing slowly started growing to be public. So yeah, now I'm really happy on how it's going on, and how it ended up. So yeah.
And now you've really got the ball rolling for you, right? You've really got everything is really going right.
Yeah,
and
man, I think so.
I was talking to Dai earlier, right? And I was saying, this Dai is amazing. Like, I've met him before, and I promise people this, right? I don't want to be seen as like, hey, Dai got it, mate bolaga. Even before you announced it, I told you that I wanted to do a podcast with you. I wanted to sit down with you.
I can show a text.
Yeah.
This guy, like whoever watching this show right now, this guy texts me, Lama Dai, let's talk, man. We need to talk. We need to meet. And that was way before I'm like, this whole thing was under progress.
It was like underground, right?
And thank you for thinking about me, man.
No, of course,
thank you. I feel really special, man. Thank you so much.
I try and invite the manthe bolayo bhaneko who will get the most recognition, but there are also people like you where at the time I was like, I don't care how many views this guy, I just want this guy's time. I didn't want to talk to him. Like, he's one of the funniest people I've ever met. Forget the mountaineer. That's a chapter of your life. Go into comedy. I swear. Susan Dimaga. But yeah, I think the ball that's rolling for you right now, it's growing, right? What's the next step? What's the next big mountain? Mentally, literally, and figuratively.
So for me, the next thing is I really want to work on this because I don't think I see myself. So I'm not talking about anyone else, but I didn't see myself, and I don't want to climb Everest again and again because of a lot of things. First thing is safety, because I don't think for me it's good to go back again and again. Whereas I'm more of a storyteller. And I'm more into outdoor education. So I want to share this experience now to school students and college students, and make it available for everyone possible. Just adding on this because though we see Nepal as an adventure hub and this and that, and they are still we cannot talk about Nepal just taking the reference of Kathmandu, Pokhara, because these cities are very popular, and everyone knows about it, but there are still so many things, people that are far, for whom coming to a pharmacy and buying a tablet of Citamol might take 7 days. I've seen those kind of lives as well because I travel a lot. So, I'm not saying I'm going to go there, but I don't know what the future holds for me. But for now, I want to start with schools that I know and colleges that I know and just go there and show them, hey, this is just a little more than what you see and read on the textbook. Because, textbook, all we have is Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. But I want to say, hey, buddy, this is how Camp 1 looks. Hey, man, this is what we eat. This is what we wear. And this is how we go toilet.
Yes, that's the best part.
Best part.
Yeah. How do you do it? I mean, base camp toilet. At this rate, there's probably seat warmers on the toilet. Right?
Well, for that I need to climb on the table, which I don't want.
But Camp 4 a 15-hour trek, maybe like the number 2 janu parda because but like a little bit urination in 15 hours the time because you're hydrating like crazy, right?
Yeah.
How did that work?
Well, it's very challenging. Like I said, every step up there is very challenging. But there's a whole process involved. You don't think, oh my God, even to do number 2, it takes this much of time.
5 minutes, yeah. Mom, you think I spend a long time in the bathroom? You think I go too long?
Mom, you come to Mount Everest and you see how
it is.
You see how it's done.
I know, but in terms of like number 1, you can't just say, hey, dai alikati road dinu minsa janu paryo, right? What kind of preparation does that need?
Well, I mean, you're hooked on the safety, so you cannot go any further. There are like a lot of people watching if you want to do it. So it's just like a mirror away. It's like, okay, buddies, welcome to mountaineering.
You can't have performances. Right?
Oh yeah, give your best performance.
I know, but yeah. I mean, like when doing stuff like that, do you ever build like relationships and friends with other people on expeditions?
Oh yeah. Like we end up making a lot of friends when you're up in mountains because we all are with the same ambitions, same thought process. So we do make a lot of friends.
Is there any moment that stands out to you that it's like you'll remember that for like the rest of your life?
Oh yeah. So like as I was coming down or like as I was going up as well. So I was having a very hard time, from like walking from Camp 3 to Camp 4, and my brother Ashok, when I was on the way to Camp 4, he offered me hot water and coffee. That definitely helped me. So yes, I want to give him a shout out. Thank you, Ashok, for helping me. And I was coming down from the summit, I was dying. I would have paid any amount for the mouthful of hot water. I was like,
I heard this story.
I was like, and out of blue, man, this is why we gotta do good things. I think karma that comes, man. That it comes around, I must have done something nice that this guy comes down and say, Lama Dai. And I was like, oh, Lama Dai ta timi चाहिँ को. He's like, Dai pani khani ho. म अनुज म उसको साथी हो. Then that thing he said, pani khani, I was like, yes, please.
My God.
Yeah.
Descended from him.
That was like, oh my God. And he gives me like three little like
the cups.
Yeah, cup full of water. And later, like he said, he was in the same situation and he didn't have water because I drank it.
Oh no!
Which I feel sorry about that. I paid him with the beer though.
No, fair enough.
And Anus Bhai, and he while coming down Sandesh, one of my good friend, he also offered me tea. So yeah, these 3 people, and if I forgot anyone, please forgive me. But anyone who offered me water in the journey. Yeah, man, those things were like...
It's so funny you say that, right? Because these days, it's like, pani like if I wanted to, it's like, can we take a break for a second? It's in pani, or I'll heat the water up in the kettle, right?
Yeah.
But when you're up there, you probably value it so much more, right?
Oh, man, I mean...
That three things of water probably, you felt like it changed the whole experience, right?
Yeah.
When you come back down, do you have a different perspective on the things around you and how you value it?
Yes, I think you become more humble, you become more kind, and you learn to take things more easily. Because when you're climbing mountains, being back and forth, you see life and death right there. You see it very clearly, man. Like it's right there. You see dead bodies lying and all those things, and it's a very clear picture for you of what life and death is. And I think that helps you to kind of settle down a little bit, calm down, and you just start taking things more easily.
It's weird because when you go to when you're on top of the world, you become the most humble.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's funny. It's ironic.
Very ironic. Very ironic. Yeah.
How did that not mentally play on you? How did that not desensitize you? If you're seeing you said you didn't see any, that knowing that dead bodies are they're there somewhere, or not even that, they're every night here's the and you're probably walking on someone
Could be.
right now, like
Could be.
right below,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, could be.
How do you not get desensitized to that? Because some people, they start the hallucination, so they start losing their mind, and they're like, "Oh my God, how did you stop that from happening?"
So I think me being in this industry for the last 15 years has helped me a lot in this process, because it's not the first time I've seen or like heard. Well, I didn't see, but I've heard that story. उहिलेदेखि नै माथि यस्तो हुन्छ भन्थ्यो सुन्दै आएको भएर now it's been in my head so much and it's thick. So त्यसले चाहिँ like yeah, so that has helped me to like get over these things. I don't know.
Did it ever like kind of almost like not hold you back, but almost like you like kind of get scared and you're like
no, because I was very clear in my head, and feeling scared or getting scared was not in my priority.
It's not in the books.
No, not from that perspective.
Not from that perspective, yeah. And it probably makes you feel even more fortunate that you're here right now, or that you're like back in Kathmandu, right? Like it's just like now the journey's over. Now you can relax.
Yeah. Well, in fact, it could be like now the journey begins. The next one.
Yeah. Next peak, here we come.
Here you go.
How are you relaxing? How's the days been? How's this week been?
As it's been a while. I'm here now, and I'm busy. I've spent a few times with the family, but I've been very busy with interviews and podcasts and sharing my experience right now. I wouldn't say I've got a complete rest, but again, I think this is the process now. I gotta enjoy this moment. So so this week was pretty busy as well. I did a lot of interviews and TV shows, and finally I got to come to my most awaited podcast. So super. I'm really glad, happy.
Usually when people do something big, it's like, oh, we've done it. Let's take a holiday. Let's travel. But you're probably like, let's just stay here.
No, I walked all the way up to the highest point on earth from Kathmandu. So I think I better kind of cool down for a little bit,
exactly,
and enjoy the interviews and podcasts.
Sometimes, like right now, you're probably super busy and super tired, and so I really appreciate your time. I just want to go ahead and say that, like, the things you do, like coming here, you don't have to. Well, like the Sherpas take people up, they don't have to either, right? And I really appreciate you coming.
No, with you I had to.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
No, I think you're just such a great guy, and
thanks,
you deserve all that's coming to you and more.
Thank you.
I don't think you're getting enough, and I think I'll repeat myself again, but the things you preach are they're beautiful, and they saved my life.
Well, you inspire me as well in like a lot of way. Meeting you for the first time at Pump, and it
did we meet at Pump?
Yeah, like it didn't even take me a second to think, man, I like this man. Look at this guy. Look at the energy. Like, I was trying to, do like maybe because of Tony, all these burpees, but man, look at this guy. He's into lifting already. So like watching you and just you living your life. Man, I don't know if you know these things, but I'm pretty confident that you inspire so many people. And, the way you talk and put things out there on table, it's so easier for people like me to reflect and understand. And
I think,
thank you. Thank you so much for being there for us.
Of course. And I also want people to know that maybe like I inspired you, but my life ain't perfect. It'll only take one conversation with my parents and you'll get a whole list. But that makes us human, right?
That's how parents are.
Dad, can we just clip this for a second? Just send it to me real quick. Another thing I wanted to get into you is the planning. It's insane. Sushantai's podcast, like the amount of planning, the amount of mental space it takes to think, even forget going, right? Just even plan it all the way to the top. That's difficult, right?
Yeah.
And when you plan stuff, I realized this firsthand. You can plan it as much as you want. You can take account for it as much as you want. Something will always go wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
when you plan something to that level of detail and something goes wrong, how do you deal with it?
So I think these are where the experience matters. Experience comes handy. It's not like it's not. I just came to outdoor industry yesterday. I've been here since 2009, and of course, it's been a roller coaster. And riding all those roller coasters, this and that, all those rides is what actually makes you realize things and helps you understand things better. Being in outdoors is always, and it's not that people call it adventurous, because risk is always involved in it. And you being in this, in the industry for a long time, and facing all those things in day-to-day lifestyle, so I think that just makes you stronger. And that helped. That experience, that being stronger, helped me a lot in terms of planning this thing mentally, like I mentioned earlier. Of course, physically beneath you, but mostly mentally was a big game for me. So
And I think you expected that things wouldn't go exactly how you planned it, right?
Oh,
I think
of course.
that's part of the planning almost, right? That's
my best planning was not to plan the best.
Yeah. Leave room for last minute changes.
I think that everyone should think the best plan is not have the best plan.
Couldn't have said it better. Is there a moment that stands out where you're like, you just had to make a last minute change, that you're like this is not according to the plan, but we got to change?
Yeah, so there was two places where I had to move on quickly because hadn't I done that, I would have missed my first acclimatization peak climb. So 2 camps. So for example, if I was going to A to B, the next morning I was like, okay, we're going to C. And that happened twice.
Okay.
So yeah, there were a few last minute changes as well.
I think one of the biggest challenges you faced was, I think it was Camp 3 or Camp 4, where it's the day of the summit.
Yeah, from Camp 3.
You're almost like hallucinating, you're dizzy. I don't know about hallucinating, but you're dizzy and you just feel like mood chaina, हैन? That's what you said, right? Mood chaina.
Mood chaina kya ho? That's cool.
But of course you ended up doing it. You ended up pushing through.
Yeah.
And physically it was probably very demanding, and you talked about that. Through this podcast, just beware that I will focus a lot on the mental aspect.
Please
because
do.
I think it's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Saying that mentally, right? The dimagma ke bhayera थियो? Not just the decision to go, but also in that moment, did you ever feel like, hey, did I make the right decision? Should I have just gone back down to base camp and just waited another week? Like, what am I doing, Khalgo boy?
I mean, a lot of questions in my head, at the time, when I couldn't make it on the first push. That was on 19th, and I tried it again on 20th. Like thousands of questions of this and that, whatever, what if, all those things. But I think my leaders, my instructors, my teachers kind of made it very simple for me, and that's why I was able to execute on the next day. But yeah, in my mind there was definitely this thing of what is happening, why, and why me?
Yeah.
Out of all this 450 people, why me?
Because people were walking past you, right? That day of you summited, you were the last one to go, and people were just like, bye-bye, see you there. And you're just like, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, so it wasn't like, bye-bye, I'll see you, but everyone's struggling.
Yeah.
That I was struggling more.
Yeah.
And I had to,
why isn't it that guy or that guy?
Yeah.
Why is it me?
And a lot of questions in my head about why, what if it's not for me? I mean, sorry, what if it's not for me? That never, I can't. So again, I think where it comes to determination, and you have to be determined, of course. Also be wise to make right decisions. And again, let me bring that back. Experience helps you a lot. Okay? But I was really, but it was, really tense moment for me mentally for that 24 hours where, I couldn't go in the first push, and I had to kind of pull back myself
yeah.
and try it on second push.
Listen to your body.
Oh yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that figuring out that balance is not something that you can learn in a book or some workshop, and then they can help you, but that takes experience.
Yes, yeah. Like you're just looking at the Instagram story of or like listening to a quote on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, at a house, and you actually in real life, have to make those decisions up in that elevation.
It's different. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah, experience counts.
And nothing. Do you think anything can prepare you for that? Besides doing it.
I mean, well, for me, I just had to travel a lot to experience that. I mean, to be able to make that bold decision. Just travel.
You gotta
be there.
You can't learn. That's why I don't know. I love school, but sometimes I feel like I just learn more if I do it. For example, the chemistry, physics, my practical, I retain that knowledge much better about like what's actually happening if the book was a body. I think I just learned so much more because it's an experience and it gets drilled in your brain. Obviously, when you decide to make it public, people know you're going, right?
Yeah.
There's a GoFundMe in your name with people sending you money to push you to the top.
Yeah.
There's a big brand like the North Face backing you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel that sort of pressure of I've got to deliver?
Oh man, like this is one of the best question I've got so far in this interview. So many interviews. You have taken a big, this. You feel the responsibility of making things happen because now. So, it's tricky. The question is, if it was just me and my money, it would have been a lot easier. Now, once you take the sponsorship and all those things, it just goes out of your hand as well.
Because now it's bigger than you.
Yes. Now it's just not you. To feel so strong Manav. But again, experience so as I was climbing, let me show you an incident what happened that night when we were climbing. So as we were climbing,
this is to the summit.
To the summit, the second try, my second try, and so it's just me and my guide. Somewhere in the mountain, I have no idea where we are. It's
no one's there.
Yeah. No one's there. It's like pitch dark, all on the. So at some point, my guide started like shaking his hand and like, hitting himself on his body, and I was there and like he was not in a good mood. I could see that, And as soon as I reached, before I asked him what happened, it's like I'm losing my hands and my fingers.
Losing my hands,
I might lose my fingers. I think I might get a frostbite. This is very cold. The weather is very bad because it was snowing and there was a wind throughout the way until we reached that point. We were constantly hit by
probably feels like needles, man. When it's cold air, it's like
my mask froze for like 5 or 6 times the entire journey. And I imagine that's the only thing that you can breathe from, And so like he was feeling very bad with his fingers and things, and like he was not in a good mood. And he's like, no, I cannot do this. I think we've got to get down. At that particular point, for a split second, I had a question. Okay, it's just not you. There's these brands that you've been helped by. And again, at the same time, it didn't take me another split second to say, I'm sorry. In my heart, I was like, I'm sorry, North Face. I did say this in my heart. I'm sorry, North Face. I'm sorry, Mountain Bar, like Mountain Man. And I'm sorry, like this, but I cannot do this to this human being. Like for me, maybe even if I make it to summit and come back, but if someone has to lose their fingers because of me,
it's not worth it.
I will have to live my entire life with that guilt in myself, and I would never forgive myself.
Nothing gets rid of that. Nothing gets rid of that.
Like even if I go to the moon or Mars or even to Jupiter, I'll have to live with that forever.
And even like people will say, now even small things, yes, they get better, but it never goes away. You'll always remember that.
Yeah. I think that's something that'll take. I mean, you'll have to live your life with it.
Yeah.
You know. And I said, okay, if you're feeling bad like that, you went with me down yesterday when I wasn't feeling good, and now I'm happy to go with you down if you're not feeling good. And well, his kindness and everything, things went out again, and he was like, no. He was like, okay, but look, we took some time. And on his command, on his yes, we went up again and we made it. But I definitely had that moment where I was like, it's not worth going up for me if he's not feeling, because he's my guide, and my life is with him like 90%, at the same time. So yeah, that happened.
What happened to the guy? Okay, fingered or something.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All good.
All good.
He was very excited at the top.
Yeah. I don't think. Do you think that feeling ever gets old for them getting to the top?
Yes, I think it kind of still has that value because it's only one Everest in the world, and no matter how many times you go, I think you still get the excitement. Except me.
You only get the excitement when you return to Kathmandu.
Yeah, I'm like, yes. And after 2 days, oh yes, I did.
I did. I was there. I can say I was there. No one can take that way. Before you went, right, it started off like a dream. Kathmandu pate hinyo bhane kasto huncha hola. Do you remember the first time you got that idea?
Yes, I still remember that idea, and I was excited since that day one. I was like, okay, if I ever climb Everest, I'm going to do this way.
You wanted to almost make a statement, like, has this been done before?
1953, when our first human ever summited, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzin Norgay.
That's it.
So yeah, they walked, and after that, I think it's Lama Dai.
Yeah, our main man. I think what you did was amazing, and
thanks, man.
I will continue to sing your praises. Do you through the journey, right? You also stopped by at your village, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was part of my plan already, because like any other village right now in Nepal, my village is also getting emptied out. A lot of people are moving out to foreign countries, Dubai, Malaysia, because of their own reasons, like in a lot of their own good reasons. Well, I hope. And I don't know what future holds for me and for my village, but I just even for the sake of statement, like I wanted to walk from my village. Now there's this thing that'll always be there, saying one guy walked from this village, making it a route to Everest as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the whole point, and I'll try my best to go back to village as much as possible, because that's where my roots are. So yeah.
And at the end of the day, right, you summited Everest, right?
Yep.
But I assume
Mom, it was early morning, not the end of day.
At the start of the day, you summited Everest.
Yes. Let's change the narration.
But I assume there was a lot of support that came your way, right? Like as soon as you made it public, as soon as the sponsor with the North Face game, it probably made it look also more legit, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I first read about it, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, the North Face, the sponsor got it, but it's like, oh, it's cool and it's legit. Like, this is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The wave of support that you got, forget during it, because you probably couldn't even check your phone there,
At some point, yeah.
But before the expedition, did that support ever encourage you?
Oh yeah, like having North Face in was like, it just developed my like everything. I was like, yes. And North Face being very on demand and internationally recognized brand in terms of extreme sports, and being able to have them on board was like a big accomplishment for them. And I cannot thank them enough for whatever they have done. Santi Didi, Ochuang Chring, and whole the North Face Nepal team. Ah, man.
And obviously you sent the text first, and it's a very funny story, right?
Yeah.
But did you, when you originally sent that text, were you sending text to a lot of different companies or just the North Face?
Yeah, North Face was not the first company that I sent the text, about my thing, because this was going beyond my capacity, my my budget, and I needed someone who could fund it. And I definitely tried with few other companies as well, but at the end, North Face was always there in my head because they have this special category called Summit Series, which is made with the modern and advanced technology, especially for this kind of thing, So
And I think looking at the North Face brand itself and the kind of how would you say, the kind of value it has, right? I think that was probably at the top of the list, right? Like if I can get North Face, that's it.
Done.
It's done, right?
It's done.
Did you ever think it would happen?
No, I mean, I didn't want to lose the hope. I had a hope, but I never thought it would be that quick. And again, huge thanks to Santi Didi for saying yes. So I texted her, Santi Didi, I'm climbing Everest. Message sent, no reply. Because there are thousands of people, I'm sorry, not thousands, there are a lot of people, they are climbing Everest. And even from her community, there are so many successful people that has climbed Everest 5 times, 6 times maybe, and she would have sponsored anyone. But Santi Didi, kind of agreed with my mindset, saying of course she supported me with the gears and all those necessary things, but she was really intrigued with my mindset of how I was walking from Kathmandu and all the way to the top of the world, and she saw a possibility where their brand could fit in. The Summit Series could fit in, because she knows her brand very well. She knows what they're capable of. And she was like, okay. And I sent her a second text. I'm walking from Kathmandu. Medicine, I get a call. What? What are you doing? Meet me. In 2 hours, the deal was sealed.
I love how that works out because sometimes you could have got तान्ने जान्छ हैन. I'm so glad that didn't happen. Just 2 hours done. It's real then, right?
When I came back home, I was the happiest person in the world.
Forget Everest, I did it.
I was like, I'm gonna walk from now.
I think it's great that happened.
Yeah.
We were also talking off camera about family and the type of relationship that family is here, right? The way families are run, the way the relationships we have with our family in Nepal, right? What role did they play in this expedition?
एकदमै तपाईको किनभने त इमोसनल सपोर्ट पनि चाहिन्छ. So I had my love of my life walking with me and to the entire journey till base camp. She walked with me for completely 24 plus another 7 days while coming back. So this trip wouldn't have been easier without her, being by my side on all those, thick and thin, highs and lows. She was always there to encourage me. I still remember, whenever I kind of was tired and was walking slow, she would always come and, say, it's almost there. So you got this, and we'll do it together. So those kind of things. So really thankful for her. And at the same time, my mom and dad, and my brother and my sister-in-law being here in Kathmandu, and they asking about me, and my close friends, they checking on me all the time, and asking how I have been and all those things. So that emotional support also kind of helps you so much. And if a friend is doing any venture or even starting a new startup or anything, I would request from your platform, please do write them and say hello and how they're doing.
Yeah.
It helps to next level.
It's so weird, right? Because sometimes you never know what's happening with people, and a simple text like, hey, how are you doing? Or hey, what's up, man? Sometimes when you're in those low moments, that really changes your life.
It does.
Somebody just checking in out of the kindness of their heart, it's
beautiful.
And that person may never know or may know, but you never know what impact that has on people, right? For you, it's a simple text. It's, hey, what's up? For that person, it's like, wow, that person thought about me. I remember that, I don't know what it was, but I had followed you on Instagram for a while, and you followed me back, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe now he knows who I am.
Of course, man.
And then you tell me a text, it's like, hey, how are you? I was like, good. I almost went in with this attitude of, good, what's up? What does he want, Kalko? Because I'm gonna be honest, it's so rare. For people to just text and be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's up? It's like, wait, why? And it was just so nice. We just had like we went back and forth with a few messages, and it was just like, yeah, we're good doing this. And he's like, you were also like, yeah, doing great. And I don't know why, but that just, it made my day, right? And
well, I'm glad.
Yeah, and it was just that simple text. And the simple things really matter.
It does.
There are a lot of stories, going back to Everest now, and there are a lot of stories about like, hey, yetis are around, snow leopard, but because of, when you go up there, you also, because of the lack of oxygen, there is a possibility of hallucination and all
very
that.
easily.
भयो दाइको येटिजहरु देखे
येटिज त हैन भरे आफ्नो फोटो आफू चाहिँ यो हो क्या येटी भएको
स्नो लेपर्ड
तर त्यस्तो खालको केही पनि भएन बिकज वी वर equipped and I was given the right and standard amount of oxygens so by my company that I went with, Kaido Expedition, and really thankful for them, Dr. Nima and Nimdin sir. So yeah, I never got a chance to hallucinate.
Damn, next time. There's always room for improvement. It's like, it was a great expedition, but I just didn't hallucinate.
Like, come on, I paid so much money.
Exactly, man.
I gotta see Yeti or like snow leopard at least.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, you scared me of the experience. No, definitely. Actually, on a bit more serious note, I was reading an article literally outside just before you came about like base camp being moved, right? Because of global warming and stuff. And one of the things you had said in one of your talks is that one of the main reasons I decided to walk from Kathmandu is because global warming and all that, people fly in from helicopters, blah, blah, to the point where people will climb to Camp 2 and acclimate. They'll come back, they'll go to Kathmandu resort and like that kind of like carbon emission to fly, but you decide to walk, right? What's your opinion on this about having the possibility of having to move base camp because of the global warming and all this other stuff?
Well, with my very limited knowledge in terms of mountaineering, I don't know how possible is that, I definitely saw that news as well, the headline as well, but I don't think it's that easy,
Like the article, could we pull up that article? Yeah.
And I don't think it's that easy just to change base camp. It takes a lot of time, study, and research to do that actually. So having said that, now coming to global warming, as we have started this talk, almost like 45 minutes ago, I don't know how much. I'm sure that there's been huge impact already in terms of global warming in those mountains up there already.
Just in this conversation, in this duration of the conversation,
कति भइसक्यो होला हैन सो यसको बारेमा चाहिँ म के भन्छु भने if we just sit and talk these things, it's not going to change anything. And I think it's too late for us to think about we're going to stop this. No. All you can try is to reduce the curve, because it's there now. And you see, I think our act matters a lot, For example, if I go to cafes and restaurants, I never do takeaways with those things. I never take straw. No, I never do it. All those bubble tea and all those things, for me, they're like completely no. I'm sorry for the entrepreneurs. I love you guys, but for me, I always stay away from those things because
it's not about the diet or this.
No, it's about the plastic thing that cannot be reused, and the only way we can contribute to make this world better and reduce the curve is not by reducing the use of plastic. I wouldn't say, because even here, if you see, we have a lot of things that are made out of plastic, right?
Yeah.
That means we are so into that life. But again, reducing is the major thing. Recycling is not a golden ticket for a country like us. No.
It's not.
No. Because
किनभने
अब मानव तपाईँ एउटा कुनै पसलमा जानुहोस् फार्मर्स मार्केट होला के होला तपाईँ त्यहाँ रिसाइक्लिङ कुनै पनि कुरा भयो भने that's double the price almost.
यस्तो
महँगो हुन्छ नि त अब कि मसँग बबाल पैसा हुनु पर्यो जुन मसँग छैन हैन अनि अब त्यो मन भए पनि त्यसलाई सपोर्ट गर्नै नसकिने भयो के त्यो महँगो भएर के अब हाम्रो देशमा त्यो खालको प्रक्रिया पनि छैन नि त
We don't have that kind of money to
छैन
spend.
नि प्लस एट द सेम टाइम even our country we don't have that whole system I think via which we can make things cheaper in terms of recycling पनि अनि I think overall world I could be wrong तर संसारभरि नै रिसाइकल कुराको प्राइस अलिक महँगै हुन्छ क्या अनि पछि त्यही भएर पनि तपाईको हाम्रो लागि चाहिँ I think like reducing you me man like forget about राज्य forget about government no let's not get in there let's not talk about them right now so you and me how much plastics am I producing per day? How, like, what's the impact of my act? So, त्यो सोच्नुपर्छ and that's my perception on this. माथि पनि धेरै कुराहरू भयो अनि I'm so glad I walked from Kathmandu and I reduced at least certain amount of like the carbon footprints भए पनि. So I'm really glad that I took this decision in terms of not using any mechanical support, no cars, no planes, no bus during this trip. I had to fly out when I came back because I was having some issues on my foot. But beside that, it was all walking, and I'm so happy that I can say that, and it has inspired me next level to act more better in this field.
Yeah, there was some shocking fact in that article that really scared me. But basically, base camp is on a glacier, near a glacier, right? Apparently, right now, per year, that glacier thickness decreases by a meter.
Like, isn't it scary?
A meter, like,
it's
thicker than this table, okay? Like, it's so like, brother.
That's a meter. Look at this.
Do you think this is...
Hand. From there, it's here, till here, it's always meter.
That's a block of ice.
Yeah, that's a block. Big block of ice.
It's a big block of ice, right? And eventually, at that rate, right, that thing's gonna cave in.
Oh yeah.
Right?
At some point, it
will cave in, right?
It'll just, so there's this place called Crampon Point.
Yeah.
And it keeps on shifting.
So, Crampon Point counts.
The best game on that.
Alikade agadi.
Thori matre, like maybe.
Oh, I think I read about this, yeah.
Half inch photo ma chai. Because we cannot exactly see that.
Yeah.
But all those white things, the Khumbu glacier dekhira chha ni. So that's going to be all like debris later on, and it's going to move up and up and up. So it's going to be a really gravelly base camp at some point.
I think. Do you think it'll get moved or not really?
Sorry.
Do you think it'll get moved anytime soon?
Well,
there's a lot of in this article, I know. Sherpas were already there resistance, and rightfully so, right? I think one of the main reasons that there was resistance was there's this place after base camp where in the day it gets too hot and it gets all melted and you just can't climb there, right?
Yeah.
If you were to move base camp back, I think it
the distance is long.
The distance is long, so to get there by the morning and to be able to climb in, that's more difficult.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, if that's not possible, people will still be spending the night at current base camp, getting ready for that next part, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it'll get moved? Do you think it's a possibility?
This is not the first base camp. If you look into our history, if I'm not wrong, when Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzin climbed, there was a different base camp. Base camp was a different place, and that was now moved to this current base camp.
Was that base camp higher or
no lower?
Lower, okay.
Lower, I think. And I agree with you with the time frame of what we need in that first night to go via Kumbai's Fall and the football ground and all those tricky places. It's really important for us to be close to the Kumbai's Fall part. So I don't think it will be moved anytime soon. No.
It's just sad though, really, isn't it? Because right now tourism is really popular these days, especially with Everest and everything in Nepal. Yeah. In terms of the people climbing, was it more Nepalis or more Americans and more Bidesiहरू?
अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ धेरै विदेशी नै हुनुहुन्छ पैसा तिरेर म जस्तो चढ्ने नेपाली चाहिँ एकदमै कमै छ There are few please that has set a record as well this time अनि तर नेपाली क्राउड नै अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ त्यति साह्रो पुरै देख्ने गरी नै चाहिँ आएको छैन
त्यो छिटो गर्ने भनेर त्यो पनि प्रब्लम छ हैन but what do you think needs to change in the mindset of Nepal, so more Nepalis go and experience that?
With due respect of all those, with due respect to all those people who has made the records, from like fastest category, I think at the end, I cannot criticize on that because it's just like a different category because mountaineering is also in sport, so त्यो पर्सपेक्टिभबाट चाहिँ तर अब के गरी अलि धेरै मान्छे हामीलाई नेपालीहरू पनि यसमा इन्भल्भ गर्न सकिन्छ ल्याउन सकिन्छ भन्ने पर्सपेक्टिभबाट भन्यो भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क सुरुबाट नै अलिकति एथिकल ट्राभलिङमा चाहिँ अलिकति ध्यान दियो भने आई थिङ्क लङ रनमा त्यसको चाहिँ फाइदा बेसी हुन्छ होला हतार नगरेर बिस्तारै बिस्तारै बुझाउँदै देखाउँदै ल्यायो भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इन बिगर पिक्चर द्याट माइट ह्याभ अ बिग इम्प्याक्ट.
And by the sounds of your journey and also like what you said about like how you felt at the summit, for you value the process much more, right?
Oh yeah, I do.
And do you think a lot of people do that these days or not really?
Well, yeah, like I mentioned in the first part of this podcast, everyone wants things very fast nowadays. Even our phone, this and that, blah, 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 whatever. And I feel like sometimes, there are a few disciplines where you can actually enjoy life, making it slower.
Making it slower.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't have to, rush all the time. That's all I have to say.
Sometimes just enjoy where you are. Like we were talking about this, like just off camera, right? But like right now, because I'm deciding to leave, right? I just enjoy what's happening right now. Like my friends, my family, like sitting down with people like you, like I just value it that much more because I'm not going to say that my life is going to become better or worse, but it's going to be different to the point where I don't have that, right? I don't have my current, like I don't have it the way I have it now, right? It's not gone forever, but it's not immediately accessed, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people forget to pause and just realize, oh my God, this is what I have. And what's sad is I'm only valuing this when I'm about to leave. I'm not valuing this like every day I get to come, and it's like as soon as there's a glimpse of not having it, and that's something that I really need to work on. And your journey has also showed me that like it's not about getting to the top of the mountain. It's about being able to come back with all these stories of some guy gave me hot water and it made my day, and all these people checked in on me, and we had a beer at base camp. All these different stories. That's the fun part. I think sometimes I lose sight of that. And I really But throughout the journey, right? If you were to sum it up with like the hardest moment and the like happiest moment or the most rewarding moment, right? Because it's not necessarily being at the top. What would?
So yeah, I think my hardest moment would be trying my first push on 19, and also while walking down, as I mentioned already. And my happiest moment is coming back definitely to my friends and families safely. Yeah, just being back here safely in one piece. That's the happiest moment.
Do you mentally check गर्नु not mentally, sorry, like त्यो सबै बडीको सबै चेक गर्नुपर्छ आएपछि लाइक त्यो हिमोग्लोबिन काउन्टहरू के चेक गर्नुपर्छ just to make sure त्यसो के
गर्नुपर्छ
मलाई थाहा छैन मैले सोधेको because I just curious because maybe like त्यो गएर like internally के भयो होला त्यो के चेक गर्नुपर्छ त्यसो गर्नु पर्दैन
मासु भात खाने
मासु भात त मेरो फेभरेट हो नि
मासु टन्न खानुपर्छ सब ठीक छ
some कालो दाल ओहो
मासु गर्नुपर्छ यहाँ थोरै भएछ एउटा मासु
यहाँ थोरै पाँचवटा हुनु
झोल चाहियो झोल
the best honey. Are there any rituals you guys do like in terms of like before you go up, like the mantra chant
like before we move out, the ritual हुन्छ पूजा त्यो भन्दा अगाडि पनि बेस क्याम्प ठुलो पूजा हुन्छ. So there are like few steps and layers of pujas we do.
You believe in puja?
Well, I guess I have no choice, here, like, it's just engraved in my body. I think like it's in our blood that, because coming from my Tamang background, we have always believed in nature. That's what we worship a lot, and when that happens, we kind of lean towards this spiritual power as well. And yeah, I mean it's been there in my family, my tradition. So I think I do have little faith on those things.
You do, do you think you do have faith? Do you believe in the higher power that's like Halgo?
किनभने तपाईँको अन्तिममा गएर हे भगवान् त भन्दो रहेछ नि त अनि अङ्ग्रेजीमा ओ माई गड किन भन्छ हामीले त्यो अनकन्सियसली पनि आउँछ क्या हाम्रो.
And I think accepting that, which maybe it's something I haven't done, but I feel like it would be very humbling to know that there's someone above you, right? You're never...
Yeah.
You could be on top of Mount Everest with this car looking down.
Yeah.
You think you're on top of the world, be on top of the universe. Yeah. I think accepting that is very humbling, and
it is.
I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm also not saying that I'm not open to it. Like, I'm still in that process.
Well, take your time.
Bisari that's what I'm go with the flow. So, त्यो पूजाहरु गर्दाखेरि, like, how does it make you feel? Like, you're getting ready to go, like, do you feel very safe too? Like, does it have a big impact or not really?
It does have a big impact. Like, it feels like you're being empowered now. पुरै हुन्छ नि एउटा त्यो स्पेस एउटा खाली स्पेस भरिदिन्छ क्या. किनभने यस्तो खालको काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ no matter how much you think you're ready, no matter how much you think you are prepared, things always goes like decreases when you're there. अनि त्यो भ्याक्युमलाई चाहिँ यो खालको पूजाहरूले उहरूले चाहिँ फिल गरिदिन्छ क्या. So that kind of helps you to calm down.
When planning this it's all manifesting, right? Even to the point where, like, even when you're walking, you're probably still manifesting that you're at the top of Everest, right? And that manifesting is only complete when you're at the top.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes when you manifest things for that long, right, there are moments when it actually begins to happen, it hits you like a brick wall.
It does.
Right? When did that happen for you? When it was like, oh shit, I'm climbing Everest.
So, मैले यहाँसम्म बेस क्याम्प पुग्ने जलसम्मलाई चाहिँ मैले phase 1 भनेर ल्याएको थिएँ. अनि त्यसपछि माथिलाई चाहिँ मैले phase 2 भनेर ल्याएको थिएँ. So, as I was approaching base camp, I was like, oh my god, this is happening. And this is happening. And so I finally reached base camp on my 24th day of walk. I'm like, damn, man. It's getting real.
Oh man. Those moments are like, they're crazy.
They're crazy. When I think about it now, oh my goodness, yes.
Do you ever just feel like, what just happened in the last few months? Like, when things happen that are too good to be true, you feel like it's a dream. Okay?
Yeah, like, for example, now it's just been maybe it's been 15 days that I'm back now. That म आएको कति दिनसम्म पनि मलाई त्यो फिल भएको थिएन क्या म चढ्राएँ भनेर. And maybe like my body, my mind was taking its own time to sink in everything, and it's just been maybe a week or some maybe a little more than that. I've started feeling and enjoying this whole journey.
Do you think it helps when people come up to you and be like, oh, congratulations, you climbed Everest? It's like, what? Like, I did that.
I think you're right. जब मान्छेले त्यो congratulate गर्न आउँछ, I think that kind of adds, like, brings some energy, some like good energy that transfers good energy on you, and I'm like, oh, and it starts making you happy and so good one. I think त्यसले पनि help गर्छ.
And right now you're coming to all these podcasts and your life is probably traveling at 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, baby.
Like it should be. And how are you savoring this moment and being like, you know what, I climbed Everest, I need to enjoy this moment, because eventually, like you said, life moves on.
Yeah.
Everything will pass.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow you got to do your next big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you savoring this moment right now?
मलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो नर्थ फेयरको साथीले के भन्नुभएको थियो भने, so and I think I'll never forget that. So as we're having the conversation in the office in the Northwest Nepalko store,
After you came back?
Yeah, after I came back, she was like, Lama Dai, my sisterly suggestion to you when people, get famous, they tend to lose their head. This is high time for you. Now, people, news, media, they can come after you. But this is a high time for you. If your kindness is on 20, don't make it 25. You got to be more kind. This fame shouldn't ruin you. Now come down to 15. Be more kind. Come down to 10. So I will never forget that. I'll never forget that. So I'm trying to be more so it was a good learning for me as well. Because fame can trip you anytime. If you can't handle it, So I'm trying to enjoy this moment as easily as possible, not making it too hard on me, Yes, I have long list of interviews, but I'm just taking maybe 3 max per day.
Okay.
And
per day? Oh my God.
Yeah,
damn.
3 max per day. Or let's say 1 or 2 is all I do. So not trying to not trying to put too much pressure on me and all those things. I'm just enjoying.
Enjoying, going with the flow. Eating that masu bhat,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like that.
Can you explain all the equipment here? What is happening? I don't know where to look.
I see dollar signs all over.
I see the kidney.
Mongo, look at her. So like that's the North Face Inferno -40 slim bag, one of the best product of North Face on the Himalayan downsuit, definitely. Lot of very, very light. Papa light when it
light.
That down jacket is so light. And
but it keeps you warm.
It keeps you warm.
Wow.
That's how North Face are. They're like very smart and advanced in technology. And into some cheese with the Cobra 65 in a bag. That bag will never be that white again in its entire life. And that bag, so So this was before I went and started my summit. I asked my friend from Satya Media Arts and Azdai Suras and Azdai to help me take the photo, so that I can capture the moment.
Did all this stuff make it to the top of Mount Everest, or kune base camp ma chhodyo?
Sab guy. Utyo ISAX bike.
ISAX bike. ISAX पर्दै माथि?
पर्दैन. अब के गरी बाटो खोल्ने हो भने चाहिँ पर्छ, नभए खासै पर्दैन, just extra weight मात्रै हो.
So probably the guy takes it takes one of his and he'll do it if necessary, right? The rock climbing हुन्छ? Like rock climbing types.
कुनै पार्टमा हुन्छ. कुनै पार्टमा चाहिँ it's a mixed climbing.
So mixed climbing भन्ने like bouldering types?
हैन. So mixed climbing भनेको चाहिँ तपाईको त्यहाँ rock पनि छ, snow पनि छ के?
Okay.
अनि प्राय सबै snow हुन्छ नि हैन? And it's just a big rock thing that you have to climb on with the spikes on your foot. And not easy.
It's good.
Oh, there.
Do you feel like you're fitter now when you get back? Like, fitness?
Well, it feels good to have more oxygen. Or like to have a standard level of oxygen when you're here. I don't know about the fitness part.
Yeah. We'll test it.
Yeah.
I know. But in terms of like acclimatizing and all that, I was watching video game yesterday and they were saying if you took some guy at the beach, you put them on the top of Mount Everest, they would die because of this whole getting sick because the oxygen and the air is not like less oxygen, no, it's just so much thinner, right?
Yes.
You have to breathe so much more.
Yeah, man, you just put it right there. I don't think I have to explain this. It's just thinner, the molecules are just like far away. Right? If this is what we are used to right now, and here, as we start getting the elevation, these molecules will just go far away, and at some point it's just this. But since we are used to this 2, and I'm getting just 1, now the problem starts in our body.
And you have to breathe more and put more in effort just to reach this one. And that also probably takes up a lot of energy, right? Breathing and all that.
Oh yeah.
And breathing itself, when you say like, rest acclimatize, people think, they but it was probably tiring just sitting there, this boy.
This is the माथि चाहिँ त्यो अक्सिजनको अलिकति त्यो कमी भएर पनि त्यो चाँडै थाक्ने चाहिँ हुन्छ. But the good thing is like we have extra supplementary oxygens हुन्छ नि त, so त्यसले चाहिँ अलिकति हेल्प चाहिँ गर्छ. होइन so त्यस्तै हुन्छ so that's like you know
this is when you couldn't open your lips, right?
yeah man
This is the chat for
look there's blood
oh my gosh,
so that's how you wake up
oh my god.
there's like blood जमिसकेको छ
chatतिर होइन like oh shit.
जमिसकेको छ
Oh man, I think
not easy
yeah, it's not like you make it look easy though. I'll tell you that much. You make it look easy.
the art
And the art.
the art and the artist
I've known you for not a long time, but for our family are pretty connected.
quite
right?
good enough
Yeah.
time
My mom used to work with you, right? And she at the gym all the time, right? And through that, I have learned that you're not just a climber. Right now, you're getting a lot of attention for your climbing, but people need to realize that it's not you. It's not Lama Dai the climber. It's Lama Dai and a list of things. You know? The Renaissance man, like if you're a Renaissance man, it means you're like jack of all trades. Like you can do anything. I think you're that guy. Like you're just you can do anything.
oh my god
I know. You also do music, right?
yeah once in a while
Yeah. Your journey goes hey, I have music.
so
Like a channel actually tandem na the music. So yeah.
So the music part like a lot of my songs are gets inspired by my traveling होइन तपाईँको फर्स्टमा अब I was always into music for long since I remember since class 3 yeah that's my channel ladies and gentlemen and yeah I didn't know I could sing to be honest I didn't know I could sing and so it was a random day at school you know and like it was Friday I think and my teacher goes okay so today today we'll not study so no teaching class so let's have fun so and I sang one song and he's like you meet me later on after this class
Teacher
yeah and like he was my math teacher and also the music teacher
okay so it was
really yeah it was like okay you meet me later on so I just went and met him and he was like okay can you sing this sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da and I was like okay sa re ga without having any idea I was like what's going on but I was scared I was like okay sure sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da it was like every Friday I would like to see you here and after a few weeks we had like one of the pioneer singer of Nepal Kunti Muktan ma'am as our teacher and the only song I knew of her was Mati Mati Soiling. I was like oh she's the one and you know she came in to our school and we started having classes and she was like okay from now onwards you're going to stay it's going to be me you and 2 benches later only other students I was like okay if Kunti Muktan puts a statement then I must be good and since then like from class 3 I started singing in school programs college programs bands and whatever so yeah for now I have like 5 songs online as you can see there
yeah you write your own stuff
and nowadays I put 1 song per year and every my lyrics I write by myself everything and it's all inspired by my travel that I did that year.
Can we expect a song about the top of Everest?
I think so.
Coming soon.
Yes, I mean, like I don't have anything to share with you right now, but it feels like it's there.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's somewhere there, and it's gonna come out better once I'm done with all these interviews and things.
Is music like a big outlet for you? Like it's just the freeing.
It's more of a way for me to express myself.
Yep.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Do you express yourself in any other way? The music is the way you do it, the best way.
Music is one of the best ways that I express myself, I think. Yeah, and my music is a little different than the commercial one nowadays. I'm more into feel and storytelling.
Yeah,
that's my biggest part of the song.
So beautiful when a story is told through a song, you know, then you can really look into the deeper meaning of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, after this recording, I think on the TV we'll play some. I don't want to play any right now. I'm scamming you of hours of some good music, right? So please go listen to that, right?
No, thanks.
I just wanted to round out this episode by saying by asking you one question, right? Your life has been crazy. You've been doing music. You're an entrepreneur, right? You've opened your businesses, and you've got to the top of Everest and many other mountains, right? In your life, what do you think has been at the hardest, the biggest challenge in the world that you have experienced, and how did you get through that, and how has that affected the success that you've had today?
Wow, that's a very deep question. My hardest thing in life that I'd overcome. Can you funnel it down from like what perspective? Let's.
So we talked a lot about your challenges in the mountain, right? Maybe something, maybe not too personal, but maybe something personal, or maybe something to do with your entrepreneurship, or maybe even music, right? Or maybe as a kid something happened that changed your perspective on the world, right? Was there any moment that stands out like that?
So yeah, I think like one of the now I got a question. Like one of the game changer for me is was back in 2009 when I applied for British Army, and I wasn't selected, and that devastated me at the moment. But it only made me more stronger, responsible, and a better person. So what I'm trying to say is failure actually helps you a lot. Failure is not about breaking you down or like smashing you and like saying like okay it's over. But actually, if you can collect yourself at that moment, it opens up a new, amazing path and door for you.
It's a gift in disguise.
That's the best way to put it out.
Yeah. What do you think your life would be right now if you had gotten accepted into?
Well, I'll be holding
rival.
some modern gun in my hand, and like
that's not what you stand
that's
for.
Not what I am. Thank God. Thank you for rejecting me.
You're probably grateful that you got rejected, right?
That was so horrifying.
But in that moment, how do you deal with because you were probably trading hard for it, and being rejected is not something that was probably in the plan at that moment.
Yeah, it was very difficult actually, Manav, and thank you for bringing it out. I think it was so bad that I even didn't know all this, like mental health things and all those things matter. And I doubt if my parents know about those things at the time, and even now, because they were not brought up with that culture, and it was not that open as well. So thank you for bringing it up. Realizing it now, I think I went definitely into some big and huge mental distress at the time, and I didn't come out of my house for 3 months.
That kind of isolation just isn't good.
Yeah, just in my room, crying, and I was a little worried if I would cry loud, so I had to put pillow on my face and cry out loud, so that my neighbors and my mom and dad wouldn't listen. So yeah, I definitely went through some hard times, but hey, it was my fight. I came out. I won.
Yeah, on top of the world.
Top of the world.
They're the one. Now your plan is also to go talk to colleges and talk in schools and colleges and encourage young people to, right? Through this podcast, is there any final message you have for our viewers?
I saw this video on Instagram and TikTok. This guy called Mahabir Pun. He was asked, what do you want to say to this new generation? And guess what his answer was?
What?
So what I want to say via this platform is I highly support Mahabir Pun Dai on that statement. Number one, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Number two, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Man, it's beautiful to, go via that path of making mistakes. You will have a different life once you, at some point you stop and look back and damn, I was there. I did that. And now where that led me now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. And keep on traveling.
Thank you so much, Zai. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, buddy.
Really
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it as well, Mano.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's a wrap.
presented by Vyas Media Network.